Alright, these are the notes on literal equations. Solving literal equations is really rearranging formulas. Okay, so you can take a formula, any formula, and rearrange it to solve for what you want by solving literal equations. The steps to solving literal equations is the same as solving regular equations. So, step 1, if you have parentheses, you are going to distribute. Okay? Then, combine like terms. You won't do this one very often because most of the equations have already been simplified to its most beautiful form before put out there as a formula, and so a lot of times there's not like terms to combine, but if there is, you'll do that. Okay, this next one you'll move variables to one side. This one you won't really do either. This is more, most of the formulas are just all variables or mostly variables, so everything you're doing is moving the variables. Okay, but you're going to move the variables using the steps, move addition and subtraction first, and then move multiplication and division next. When you move these, you're usually moving variables. So you're going to move the variables from side to side, and you're going to do that by adding and subtracting first and then multiplying and dividing. Alright, our first example here, P equals I times R times T. Okay, we are solving for T, so I like to circle what I'm solving for because there's all letters here, so it's real easy to get distracted and just start moving things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, if we're solving for T, this is I times R times T. The opposite of multiplication is division, so just like in a regular equation, if this was 20 equals 10 times T, we would move this 10 by dividing because the opposite of multiplication is division. So when you go over here, just like you divided by the 10 here and the 10's crossed out, you're going to divide by I and R. Okay? To both sides. I over I is going to cross out just like the 10's did. R over R is going to cross out just like the 10's, leaving you with T equals. Over here in our regular equation, 20 divided by 10, you got 2 equals T and you were done. Over here in the formula, you don't know what P is, you don't know what I is, you don't know what R is, so you have to leave it as P divided by I, R. There's no simpler way to do that. Okay, you're not actually going to get a number answer here. You're going to get a formula. So when you rearrange a formula, it's just a formula. I just moved the letters from one side to the other, but it should still have a bunch of letters in it. Alright, so we are solving for W. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to the side and write an equation in like a normal equation that looks similar to this one, and we'll... Okay, so in this equation in red, okay, you would start by distributing. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times W is 2W. Okay, so if we distribute it in the regular equation, we're going to come over here and distribute in our formula, our literal equation. 2 times L is 2L. 2 times W is a positive 2W. Okay, again, I am solving for W. So over here in red, if I'm solving for W, okay, 2 times W is multiplication, so I'm going to move this 10. The opposite of a positive 10 is a minus 10. 20 minus 10 is 10. Now bring down my 2W. So over here in blue, my literal equation, this is 2 times W, so I'm going to subtract this positive 2L. 2L minus 2L crosses out just like 10 minus 10 did. Okay? I bring down my 2W, just like I did in red, but over here, A minus 2L, I don't actually know what that is, so I'm going to leave that as A minus 2L. I cannot subtract them like I did here and actually get a number, because I don't have numbers. Okay, going back over here into the red, I have 2 times W. The opposite of times is divide, so I'm going to divide by 2. The 2's will cross out, W equals 5. So over here in blue, I'm going to do the same thing. This is 2 times W. The opposite of times is divide, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 2 will cross out, leaving me with W equals all of this stuff. Okay? I cannot subtract A and 2L. I can't divide A and 2 or 2L and 2. I don't have any of those number values. So I leave my equation, my formula, rearranged in this form. It started out as a formula. It ends up looking like a formula. I just solved it for W instead of A. Alright, last example, we are solving for X. Okay, so over here in red, I'm going to write an equation that's very similar, but that has numbers. Okay, in this equation in red, this is x plus 2 divided by 3. You always want to get rid of that denominator first if you can. The opposite of a divide by 3 is a times 3. Anytime you want to get rid of a denominator, you multiply. The 3's will cross out, leaving us with the numerator, x plus 2 equals 15. So over here in blue, I also have a denominator of 3, so I'm going to get rid of that by multiplying by 3. The 3's cross out just like they did here, leaving me with my numerator of x plus y, and then 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, back to the red equation. This is x plus 2. The opposite of plus is minus, so I'm going to subtract 2. So I'll have x equals 13. So in red, if it was a plus 2, so I subtracted 2. Over here, this is a plus y, so I'm going to subtract y, because again, I'm trying to solve for x. Y minus y will cross out, just like 2 minus 2 crossed out. That leaves me with x equals whatever 15 minus y is. Now, I don't know what 15 minus y is, because I don't know what y is, so I'm just going to write 15 minus y. Again, all I'm doing is rearranging the variables. Okay?